I'm sure you've heard countless adults tell you how sleep is so important. Your parents, your teachers, maybe even your friends. Yet you still continue to sleep less than 8 hours per night. Why? You're not alone. The average teenager gets only 7 hours of sleep per night, when really what we need is 9. And that difference of 2 hours may not seem like a lot to you, but it actually is. We'll get into that later. As someone who gets 8 to 10 hours of sleep per night, I will tell you first why getting enough sleep is a game changer. Then I'll spill all the secrets on how I do it and how you can too. And finally, I'll address some common problems people seem to have with getting to sleep on time and what you can do about it. Let's get into it. So first, why is sleep actually important? You might think that during the night your body completely shuts off. Actually, you probably don't realize it, but it's the complete opposite. During the night, your body goes into repair mode, basically taking the rest time as a time to heal muscles, strengthen your immune system, regulate hormones, and many more functions. But not only that, your brain also uses this time to consolidate memories and wash away toxins that build up in your brain while you're awake. Sleep is like an essential reset time for your body. So logically, if you don't allow yourself to get that sleep, you're more likely to forget information, you'll have decreased concentration, your mood will change, you'll be less able to manage stress, your immune system will be weakened, your hormones could be imbalanced, leading you to be hungrier or more stressed. And if you repeatedly deprive yourself of sleep for a long period of time, you have an increased risk of mental health problems and serious health diseases. We don't want any of that. So keep listening because I'm about to tell you exactly how you can get your sleep schedule back on track. The first thing you need to do is to establish a consistent sleep schedule. If you want to get the required 9 hours of sleep per night and you have to wake up at, let's say, 7 in the morning, then plan to go to sleep at 10 and stick to it. Sometimes what I do is I tell myself I'll go to sleep actually half an hour before I actually want to so that I have extra time just in case anything happens. And the real key to this strategy working is consistency. Your body has a circadian rhythm, aka your biological clock, and you'll never get used to this healthy sleeping pattern if you don't give your body the time to get used to it. Your circadian rhythm thrives on regularity, so for this to work out, go to bed and wake up at the same time every day, and if you can, even on the weekends. Not only will this help you get an adequate amount of sleep, but it will also improve the quality of your sleep. Next, you want to create a relaxing bedtime routine to get you in the mood for sleep. You could read a book, do some meditation, or anything that you think will calm you down before bed. I personally like to listen to some calm music, journal to release all negative thoughts, and read a bit before bed. I also try to avoid screens as much as I can since the blue light inhibits melatonin production, which in turn keeps you awake. And if I really have to use screens, then I turn on night mode to reduce the effects of this blue light, which gives the screen more of a yellow hue. Tip number 3. This one's pretty straightforward. Be careful what you eat or drink before bed. So basically just avoid substances like caffeine if you drink that, or big meals that might impede you from sleeping. And finally, the last tip, I know some of you might sit in your bed while studying or reading. I used to do that until I realized that if you work in your bed, you start associating the bed with a workplace. So then when you get into bed to go to sleep, your brain still thinks that you're supposed to be working and stops you from sleeping. So just make sure that your bed is only used for sleeping and study preferably at a desk or somewhere else. Alright, let's move on to some common issues people have with getting to sleep on time. Many of my friends tell me that during the school year, they have too much work and because of that, they stay up very late to finish up a project or an essay. So to combat this, first I would recommend setting up a study schedule so that you can be sure that all tasks are completed before bedtime. And plan to finish your task earlier than the deadline, just in case the workload is actually bigger than you thought. That way you'll have some extra time to finish it and you won't have to sacrifice your sleep for it. This is really important, and I know you might have many activities, but the thing is, staying up all night isn't worth it at all. Staying up late at night harms your cognitive functioning. Your attention span and focus greatly decrease, and you're less capable of memorizing things and remembering details. So in the end, sacrificing sleep for work might get you that essay finished in time, But realistically, that essay would have been a much better quality if you had planned out your study period and written it during a time where you wouldn't be denying your body its essential rest and reset period. Another obstacle many people said they have is not being able to fall asleep earlier than they already do. One of my friends told me she has an energy boom at night, which stops her from going to sleep. As we said before, though, your circadian rhythm relies on regularity and consistency. So if you've been going to sleep at 1 a.m. in the morning every night, of course it's going to take a bit of time for you to get used to a more reasonable bedtime. Keep in mind tips like winding down before bed, avoiding screens, and dimming the lights, but ultimately, as I said before, consistency is key. And if you still find it difficult to fall asleep earlier after implementing these tips, then I would suggest you do a gradual shift of your bedtime. So go to sleep 15 minutes earlier every day, or whatever works for you until you reach your goal. And lastly, many of my friends said their major obstacle was using their phone before bed. You open it to check one thing and then you're sidetracked and you don't realize how much time has gone by. If you struggle with this, try keeping your phone out of your room so you don't feel tempted to use it at night. Or put a time limit so you can't use it after bedtime. I actually have a whole nother podcast about how to limit your screen time, so be sure to check that out. So I hope you're going to implement a couple of the tips I shared with you in this podcast. Remember that sleep is non-negotiable and that it will help you with any other task and enhance your health and cognitive functioning. Thank you for listening to Mind, Body, and Beyond, and I'll see you in the next one.